started. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Senior Empowerment True Series. And raise your hand if this is your first time attending. Oops, sorry about that. How about you've been here, this is your third time or more?
First time.
Yay! Thank you, Julie, for coming. Third time. All right, so before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping details. These are our panelists today. We'll introduce them in a moment. I will ask them a series of questions, and the questions usually run till about 11 or 11:15. At that time, we open it up for questions from you as the audience. You have a handout at the table to jot some notes down, so if you have some thoughts that you want to ask, you can jot them down and then ask them at the end. They also all have brought some more information for you that will be at the back of the room available when you leave. So feel free to pick that up on your way out. We also have an evaluation that we ask you to complete. Please give us any ideas or topics you want us to cover or feedback so we can keep improving our series. So, what is the who, what, and why about Behind the Truth series? Well, I'm Stephanie Parson. I'm a licensed realtor over 20 years. My real estate team is Parson Realty Group. I'm a certified senior housing professional and a senior move manager. And we've created Mature Move Solutions, which sponsors our empowerment series. So I have a great team of people. Two of them are here today. One is Joelle, that a lot of you know from talking to on the phone. And then also my daughter is here today, Claire, helping back from college. So got some extra help for the summer. So we realize that it's difficult to talk about getting old. And it's just overwhelming and confusing, to be quite honest. So our goal is to eliminate some confusion, introduce options to you, help you be proactive and an advocate for yourself and family. So we're all best prepared for living out our senior years to the best quality we can. Last week we talked about how to pay for senior living, and it's no secret how expensive senior living is, whether it's a community or your own home. And while there are advantages to remaining in your home, there's problems associated with aging that can make it difficult to do so safely without modifications to your home or utilizing in-home care services. So over the next 90 minutes, with the help of some amazing people here who are experts in their respective areas and businesses, we are here to talk about aging in place. So you decided to stay in your home. Are you prepared? Okay, I think I'm out of order here. All right, so panelists, thanks for coming today. If you want to share your name and your organization and a little bit about why you're here today.
Okay, well, I'm in the first seat, so I get to go first. My name's Tina, and I'm with Aging Ahead. Specifically, I'm at the St. Charles Senior Center. I'm the administrator there, and I'm here today to share some information about our organization, some of the resources that are available to you, and tell you about the Senior Center.
Okay, great, thank you. Linda.
Hi everybody, I'm Linda Prio, and I am the community educator for Continuum Private Duty Home Care and its family of services. I actually live in the St. Charles area, not too far from here. Our services do cover the St. Charles County area, and I'll be here to help you understand a little bit more about care at home that's considered non-medical and private. Bill?
Hi, I'm Bill Sherms. My company is Safe Senior Home. We specialize in modifying homes so that they stay safe. Also, another thing that's important is to maintain the home, so we will do your honeydew work, and
I like that.
Honeydew man.
So that's why I'm here, is to answer questions about some hazards you might have in your home.
Okay, great, thank you. So, for the purposes of today, there's a lot of different definitions of aging in place, but the one I wanted to use is what is it? There it is, active intentional process of continuing to live in the home of your choice. So it's intentional. And we wanted to go over a few truths and myths. So, age in place design lowers your resale value. Truth or myth? What do you guys think?
Oh, I think it is, yeah.
Okay, it's a myth, okay? So it does a lot of times help, it actually increase your value. More people need these different modifications in their home, and people are looking for that already. Age in place design is ugly. Okay, myth. Yep. How about social isolation affects your health?
True.
Absolutely. So according to the CDC, social isolation was associated with about 50% increased risk of dementia, 29% increased risk of heart disease, and 32% increased risk of stroke. And loneliness among heart failure patients was associated with 68% increased risk of hospitalization. And then lastly, a recent study by ARC shows 77% of seniors want to remain in their homes to age in place. True or myth? True, absolutely. Okay. So that's what we're here to talk about today. So Tina, let's start out. We're going to talk about the socialization aspect of aging in place, and that seniors also find themselves, longing to be around others. And even if you have the perfect setup for aging in place, loneliness is one of the things that's a very real issue. So Tina, tell us about, share with us about what Aging Ahead is and what it offers.
Okay. So have many of you heard about Aging Ahead? Do you know what it is? Okay. So this will be
wow.
new,
Okay.
new information for you. So I'll give you a little history stuff, but then get into the more specifics. So the Older Americans Act, Comprehensive Services Amendments, write that down, you're gonna get a test. They established area agencies on aging nutrition services in 1973. And over the years, they've reauthorized their services to address protective and supportive services, information and assistance, employment training, family caregiver resources, health and wellness, and a lot more. So these service categories have applied to individuals age 60 and over and their caregivers, with special emphasis given to those in greatest economic and social need. Aging Ahead provides essential programs in St. Charles County, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, and Franklin County. So we cover a pretty good area. Our main purpose is to connect you with other resources. We do a lot of things at the senior center for people, but we help connect you. So if you want to write this number down, because I don't know if I'll talk about it a little later in, but if the most important number, if you need help and you don't know where to start, you can call 636-579-0555. And that's going to connect you with one of our community option specialists, otherwise our social workers for Aging Ahead, and they can help with a lot of things, starting with filling out forms. Yes?
Can you repeat the number?
Oh, sure. 636-579-0555. So, and again, they help with everything from A to Z. So, and a lot of other things in between. So,
So talk to us specifically about your senior center, because you're at St. Charles, there's more than just St. Charles.
yeah.
What are some of the other locations?
So, in St. Charles County specifically, we have the St. Charles Senior Center, the St. Peter's Senior Center, O'Fallon, and one in Wentzville. And there's a lot of other locations throughout, the other counties. You'll could probably just go on our website to find those, or give me a call and I'll let you know where they all are.
Okay, all right. So specifically, where is your center located at, Tina?
Our center is at 1455 Fairgrounds Road. I tell everybody we're at the end of the Bass Pro Plaza, on that little, just near the eye doctor's office. Most everybody knows where the eye doctor's office is, on the corner of Boonslick and Fairgrounds Road, or the big tall apartment buildings right there. So we're not too hard to find. So we're open Monday through Friday from 9 until 2 for people to come. You can have lunch, participate in any activities that we have going on. We have pool tables, some exercise equipment. We offer a variety of different classes. Currently we have a Tai Chi class going on, so we've got over 20 people that come to that. That's every Thursday at 10 o'clock. Bingo, if anybody wants to play bingo, we're the bingo king and queens. Twice a week we play bingo. What else do we do? We have a quilting group that's been meeting there for over probably 30 years or so. They're there a couple of times a week. Play cards, sit, drink coffee, just visit, whatever you want to do. It's there.
And can you go to any location, no matter where you live?
Yes, you don't have to live in St. Charles to come to the St. Charles Senior Center, or you don't have to live in O'Fallon to go there. So we have people on a certain day of the week, they like what's going on in St. Peter's, and then on the other days, they come to our center because they like what's going on there. So you can go anywhere you want.
And is it free, or is there a cost involved?
So to attend the center, it's free. If you'd like to eat lunch, it's paid for on a donation basis, and we just have a donation box. You just drop it in there. It's a suggested $5 donation for the meal for people 60 and older. Under 60, it's $10. Yeah.
2 more years. Right, okay. So what if you no longer drive? Okay.
So good question. So we do offer transportation. We kind of like to come to our center, stay within our service area, so to speak, which is 63301 and 03 zip codes. So depending on, like, if you're just ambulatory, you can get in and out of a car, then we'll use one service. If a person has a wheelchair or something needs a little more assistance, then we'll use another service. But we can provide you service, transportation to come to the senior center at no cost to you. And you can come once a week, or you can come 5 days a week, whatever you choose.
Okay, so how does that arrangement work for arranging for transportation?
So you would start by calling me at the senior center, and I'll get some information from you, and then I'll set up transportation for you in the beginning. One of the companies, and you'll contact yourself to set up your rides.
And it's free?
And it's free.
It's only in your area.
Yeah, so all of the centers offer the transportation services. But we're probably not gonna go and pick somebody up in Wentzville to come to the St. Charles Senior
So
Center.
O'Fallon would have their own.
Yes, yeah, all of the centers participate in the
So
transportation.
the centers all fall under Aging Ahead,
Yes.
right? Okay, so, and they were set up by federal government, but ran by the state, is that?
Well, not exactly. So, through the Older Americans Act, that's how
Okay.
they were established. So Aging Ahead is a not-for-profit, but they do get some reimbursement for different programs through the state.
Alright. So they call the center to arrange for service. And then I know we specifically talked about something called the Charlie Bus. Can you speak to that?
So, that's the good old Charlie bus. So, that is another means of transportation for St. Charles City residents. If you live in the city of St. Charles and you want to go somewhere in the city of St. Charles, then you can contact either by phone or through their website. You can go on the City of St. Charles government website, and that'll book you to the Charlie bus. And they'll bring you not only to the senior center, but if you need to go shopping, you need to go to the bank, various different places, for 50 cents a trip. And it's more for people 60 and over and people with disabilities. So,
Okay, awesome. That one I definitely didn't know about.
yeah, it's really
Is
great.
that the scat most you're talking about?
Yes, so it used to be just the SCAT bus, and they had different stops through the city. They had the green line, the blue line, and all of that, but they've done away with that, and so now it's on a reservation basis.
And do you know, so that's for the city of St. Charles.
Mhm.
Does the other locations of the senior centers also have similar things? No idea.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I want to say that St. Peter's has something, but not exactly like the Charlie bus. I don't know 100%.
Okay, so y'all need to move to the city of St.
Yeah, it has to be in the city limits for the Charlie bus.
So, Tina, you kind of filled me in a little bit about the choice program that you guys have. Can you tell us more about that program?
Okay, so the Choice Program was created in 2014 for a solution for the challenge of attracting older adults to the senior centers. And so we have a variety of programs that range from gardening, meal preparation, exercise, just a variety of things. And it's in different locations. We partner with the St. Louis Library Organization, so they help with a lot of that. And also now we've gone to the Zoom. The pandemic helped us all learn Zoom. Yes. So yeah. So did we see the don't we? Okay. So some are in person and some are virtual. And in my handouts that I put back there, I did put a list of the presentations for this month and next month on there, just to kind of give you an idea. And those are all free too. You can attend. Now, if you attend an in-person choice program, then there is a donation for lunch, because they do provide a lunch there. But if they're virtual, there's really no charge, but they always accept donations. So that's pretty much it.
All right. So, and then I know we specifically wanted to talk about the Family Caregiver Support Program. And I know one aspect of that is something that I think is amazing. I haven't been able to find anything else like it. And it's the AV video program that's on your website. And so could you maybe speak a little bit about that? And then we're gonna show a short clip of the video to let them know.
Yeah. Okay. So most important, if you go on the www.agingahead.org website, and that's going to link you to a lot of all these services that we're talking about. So as Stephanie mentioned, we have the Family Caregiver Support Program, and the AE program is Adaptive Equipment and Caregiving Corner. So you can go down through there, and there's a lot of videos there. It enables families to learn about and safely use adaptive equipment. It's full of ideas and answers for people that are struggling to complete their ADLs. So,
And ADLs are
activities of daily living. So, they're simple things, getting dressed or, whatever. So the items featured in the videos are accompanied by videos and links for purchase. So there's professionals, not Aging Ahead professionals, but other professionals that run this program, like therapists and things like that, and they will provide a free short consultation on the phone for you, or they will do an in-person assessment to help provide individualized recommendations. But those in-person assessments are probably not going to be free. So just so you know that. They've got a couple of clips here, and then you can see other little clips on the website. There's about getting dressed, safety in your living room, all kinds of things.
So this one is about safely getting in and out of a car. Is specifically noted for hip surgery. You know, if you're had hip surgery, how to get in and out. But it's great for any older person to get, you know, who has some challenges in safely getting in and out of the car. So we're going to show you.
In this video, we are going to review how to get in and out of the car after leaving the hospital after having a total joint replacement surgery. Now, one option might be to use the back seat, sliding yourself across the back of the seat with your legs out in front of you. The only problem with this is that you may not have the strength after surgery to do that. So we're going to review how to get in and out of the front seat. I also have a car assist handle here that may come in handy in that process. So we're going to take a look at that now. So I'm going to instruct Christina on how to get into the car. We are going to say she's had a total hip replacement on the left side. So after she's gotten out of the wheelchair, she's up to her walker. We hopefully have a gait belt on just for safety to help her in and out. I'm going to have her turn around with the walker facing her back to the car. So she's going to turn around. I want her to back up to the car until she feels the car at her leg. Okay. Now I'm going to use the car assist handle in this instance. I'm going to put it in the latch of the car here. Now when she is coming down, we need to make sure if she is under the hip precaution of not bending further than 90 degrees forward, we need to make sure that she's monitoring that. So we're going to put the surgical leg out in front a little ways. Okay. And then I'm going to have her put her hand on the car assist handle. And then as she comes down, we want her to kind of keep her trunk up. I'm going to kind of stabilize the walker here. You're going to bring your bottom down toward the car. You're going to reach back with the other hand. There you go. And as she comes down, we're going to watch her head. There you go. Good. All right. And we're going to have her keep her trunk back so that she's not breaking that hip precaution. Now I'm going to move the walker out of the way. Now we're going to remember as a total hip, she still can bend her knee. That's fine. The other thing we need to watch for is if she is under the precaution that she can't actively move her leg out to the side, we're going to help her in this instance for both of these precautions. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to assist her with this leg, getting her leg into the car. We have the seat scooted all the way back. I also have laid the back of the seat down so that if she needs to scoot back further this way to get her leg in, she can do that. So as I come down here, I'm going to help her with this leg. I'm going to have her keep her trunk back. So scoot back toward the center of the car. Keep scooting back further. That's good. And I'm going to help her with her leg into the car, and then I'm going to let her bring this leg in. She's staying back and doing a good job of monitoring that bending precaution. Good. So go ahead and get yourself turned around a little bit further.
So you'll see there is a ton of videos on here. They're all occupational therapists that are doing this. I actually used this recently to help my mom get in and out of the car. And I bought one of those car assist things, and they are really, really helpful. So yeah, I mean, I've used it, so this has been a really nice resource, you know, to be able to follow.
You're right.
So Tina, anything more about the Family Caregiver Support Program that you wanted to add?
Specifically about the program, so let's see. No.
Okay. All right. So
You just, if you have questions about any of this stuff, the 555 number that I gave you in the beginning is the best number to call. And whoever answers that phone, you'll get somebody from St. Charles County, and they'll help you, talk to you about some of those other resources.
So other information that you'd like to share, like the volunteer opportunities.
So some of the things that I haven't talked about yet is volunteer opportunities with Aging Ahead. So no matter where you live in St. Charles County or any of the other counties, all of the centers have volunteer opportunities, whether it be for Meals on Wheels, help within the centers, delivering other supplies to people aside from Meals on Wheels, just making phone calls to some of our clients, like telephone reassurance calls or a friendly caller program. So there's a lot of other things like that. And what I didn't talk about was Meals on Wheels. So if you know somebody that's in need of Meals on Wheels, sometimes people are just in need for a short time because they've had hip surgery or they've broken another bone or whatever. And, you know, we can help with that too. So call any of your local senior centers because all of our services are divided by zip code. So the St. Charles Center services 63301 and 03 zip codes. And so, yeah.
And
we
what
can
is
help with that.
Meals on Wheels? Is it free? Is there a charge?
Mhm.
What do they provide?
So Meals on Wheels is designed for people 60 and older that are considered homebound. So if you have a car and you're taking yourself to the grocery store and you're going out to dinner with friends and all that, then Meals on Wheels is probably not set up for you. Although I have had people that's called me and said, I'm just tired of cooking. So, sorry. I am too, but it doesn't work. So, you know, but we get, like I said, people just for a short term because, you know, they're sick in some way, been injured or something, or we've had people on Meals on Wheels for a really long time. So that's what they're there for, is to help. So currently at our center, we are transitioning back to hot meals. You know, the pandemic kind of threw a loop in a lot of things, but we do. So we serve frozen meals to some of our clients, which is one box of 5 frozen meals a week, or some clients we serve a hot meal 5 days a week. So that's just another way to see people. Not everybody has a resource system, you know, a family that comes and sees them or checks on them. They might live out of state or, you know, what have you. So we're another set of eyes that can, you know, check on mom or dad and, you know, help them out. We get the mail, we take the trash can back to the house. We do a lot of other things besides meals.
It's awesome. And Whiskers on Wheels.
Oh, yeah. So, not only Meals on Wheels, but we do have a program called Whiskers on Wheels. So, mostly that's towards our Meals on Wheels clients if they have a pet and they're not able, they're struggling to help take care of their pet. So we help with that. There's an application process, and we provide rabbit food, cat food, dog food, a kitty litter. Sometimes assistance with vet bills. It just kind of depends on the situation. So yeah, lots of stuff. Also, we participate with the USDA for farmers market vouchers. So that is income based, but those are going to be, that program starting soon. It starts from June 1st till October 31st. So you can contact your local senior center to fill out an application for that. So you would get $50 worth of free vouchers to go to participating farmers markets, the farmers at the markets, and get fruits or vegetables. We participate with the St. Louis Food Bank for commodity boxes for people, and our center does Operation Food Search. So we're a small food pantry that people can come a couple of days a week and get food. Lots of stuff.
And a couple other things you mentioned to me is, excuse me, senior haired legislature, that group?
So in some of my bags back there, if you take one of the bags, there's a flyer in there about it. It's the senior haired legislator works a lot with Jefferson City for bills and things like that that are geared towards seniors. So I'm not really political, but I can put you in touch with the person that will be happy to tell you all about it if you're interested.
Well, thanks, Tina. So you're a definite great resource for anybody to contact to connect and find out where they can take advantage of other resources in your area.
Yeah, just give me a call and we'll figure it out.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk about some other services that people need to age in place is related to companionship, personal hygiene, and housekeeping. And we want to talk specifically about what services are included in in-home care. So Linda, what services does the organization you're with provide?
Yeah, so frequently aging at home services are called non-medical, or as Stephanie said, in-home care. And so that can range from like housekeeping and laundry, transportation, maybe an escort to the doctor visit or to an event that you're having. We can help with meals, preparing those meals, serving the meals, clean up after the meals, and kind of keep your house a little bit more organized so that it doesn't wear you down when you're starting to wear down. Sometimes when you come home and you're sick or you're experiencing a health concern, you can really get down that you're not able to do everything. So that's those are some things that we help with. Companionship, so that somebody can leave the house. We provide a companion, and it's also can be called respite care. And respite care is where you get to take a break. So as the family caregiver, you might need a break because it's very overwhelming to be in that situation. You want to do it, and you're doing it, and you're trying really hard, but just sometimes you need what is called a respite break. So those are some household tasks, but we also are able to help with personal care. And many times we want to do the right thing, but we're just not equipped training-wise to do what we're being asked to do by medical professionals that are visiting us in the home. So we're actually able to help people use their walkers appropriately or transfer in and out of a wheelchair. We're able to use lifts in the home, such as a sit-to-stand or a Hoyer lift for people who are less capable of doing those things independently. We're also able to assist with grooming. So if shaving, brushing your teeth, and combing your hair, putting on your socks and shoes has become an issue, we can help with that. And then also the services are designed to help with incontinence care and bathing. So it is it's an encompassing picture of services that are provided. But as the person who's going to receive care, you're going to have a lot of input on what you feel that you need help with. Okay?
So and all of that falls under non-medical, because some of it sounded kind of medical to me.
That's correct. It is non-medical care. We can help you even if your medications increase that, we can remind you when to take them. But yes, it is non-medical. Even, so it is considered non-medical and as such, not covered by insurance.
Okay. So what kinds of costs can a senior expect to pay for in-home care?
Yes, so it's always good to ask questions when you're calling around, but due to COVID, post-COVID world, the increase in costs because of the increase in pay, that we're really looking at least $30 an hour for care inside the home. And that's just going to be an average cost. So that gives you a ballpark number as you're starting to project what it is that you might need. You do want to ask if the agency has a minimum number of hours, and if what their hourly fee is specifically, and does that cover weekday as well as weekend. And then if there might be discounts for 24-hour care or longer shifts.
Okay. So, I mean, in-home care companies are popping up everywhere.
Mhm.
Okay, so what should people, you mentioned a few things that people should remember to ask when interviewing companies offering these services. So maybe, are there other things you would recommend that they ask about?
Yeah, I think it's important to know that the kind of care that you mentioned, Stephanie, that are popping up, everybody thinks that providing in-home care is the next greatest thing. But you still have to hire caregivers, and you still have to provide care, and you still have to provide good care. So just remember that each agency is different than the next, so you want to really do your research. So we get people who call 5 or 10 agencies, and that gets a little confusing. I would say the rule of thumb is really 1 to 3, and you get a pretty good idea from interviewing the agencies about what you specifically want to ask. But the key is, do you service my area? Do you service where I live, yes or no? And you might hear, oh, you live in an outlying area, you know, so if you tend to live further out west, if you tend to live north of, you know, Highway 70, people might say that's an outlying area. So you do want to know if they cover your area. You want to know how they're going to match you with a caregiver. You're going to want to know what to do if you don't like the caregiver match. What options are available to you then? You're going to want to ask a little bit about the hiring process, and if the caregivers are covered by liability or workers' comp insurance. As someone who's going to look into that care, you don't know what you don't know, and so you have to do your diligence to find out that information, because again, across the board, I can't say that everybody handles business the same way. Okay, so those are some things. And then one of the questions we get frequently is, how do I cancel services? You know, what's your policy on cancellation? Because what if you are in a situation like you have your house up on the market because you're moving to a higher level of care, but you actually have care in the home now, what's going to happen then? So those are some good questions. And then of course, you know, you want to know what kind of caregivers the agency hires. And if you can find out that, then you have a pretty good idea.
So how did they find out what kind of caregivers? What would those questions look like?
Are your caregivers experienced? What kind of reference checks, background checks? Do you go through? What qualities are you looking for in a caregiver? Those are some things. Those are pretty normal and typical questions that we get asked on an everyday basis.
Okay. Your organization specifically offers a unique program, and it's the we hire versus you hire. So we have a little slide up here to help.
Great. I'm so glad you picked that up. I couldn't remember if I sent that to you or not. My apologies.
So if you can kind of walk us through exactly what this is, because it is unique. There'll probably be more companies, I would think, offering this, but right now Linda's company does, so she can explain it.
Yeah. So my mom lived to 100, and there was a point in time where she came to live with me, and I still needed to work, and she needed care. So I used the we hire model, where the agency was in charge of hiring the caregiver, matching the caregiver, paying the caregiver, scheduling the caregiver, and making sure that the care that was being delivered was appropriate. And if that caregiver didn't show up, then what then? Because I'm sitting at my desk already. And so what is that going to look like on my end? So for me, that worry-free oversight, I had enough to worry about. So I chose that model, but we know that the cost of care is increasing, and we know that everybody's different and everybody's going to make different choices. And so we decided to retool our You Hire platform after COVID. It's a proven platform. It works in a lot of other markets in the East, so we retooled it and we brought it back. But what we're trying to do is to help you in the process of recruiting a caregiver that you could hire privately. So on the front end of that would be us or the agency meeting you to see what your needs are, and then making sure that we have a good handle on that, so that when we put ads in, we're going to use our 20+ years of hiring and recruiting experience to find a caregiver to present to you. And then you'll get the option whether you want to hire that person or not. And also, you will do the scheduling, and you will worry about any insurances that they need to have in your home. But it does give people freedom to choose their own caregiver, and it gives them freedom to perhaps save at least $15 an hour on care. So we're just saying that if this is a direction that you want to head in, because this is available in other markets.
So it's like a deployment agency, kind of?
We're not employing, you're
I
the
know,
employer.
but I guess-
We're recruiting.
Recruiting,
Recruiting.
okay.
So sometimes when I say that, people will say, oh yeah, I had a nanny. Or yeah, I've hired my own housekeeper before. But in today's day and age, you don't know that you want to have that whole responsibility and have people coming in from the outside into your home. So it could be a safety mechanism too. So, and I have more information about it in the back, but it's just another model of care. So just know that as we continue to age in place and we continue to develop, there are going to be more solutions to meet those needs.
Absolutely. So, anything else that you would like to share about in-home care and options out there?
Yeah, I would just say that, it doesn't hurt to make a phone call. And usually what people tell me when I'm talking to clients is that you made my blood pressure go down, or you made me feel better. I realize I'm not alone now, but ask the agency that you're calling if they offer a free in-home assessment, because most of them do, and it gives them a chance to get to know you, and you get a chance to know them, and then you feel a little bit more comfortable in the process. Just like if you were having your roof repaired, you would have your roofer out to your home, right? So there's no obligation to that visit. So that can be very helpful to you because, yeah, you came here to learn, so having somebody out can kind of help you as well.
So do they send out a specific person that would be the care provider, or is it more of an
It's more of a-
administrative person from an agency that comes out?
Yeah, ask that question at the agency that you're talking to. Who are you going to send out? Who are you going to send out to my home? But they will be employed by that agency. 9 times out of 10, you'll be employed by that agency. So at least you'll know who that is. And I always like to warn my families, this is who's coming out. This is what time they're going to be here. That way you know to open the door. If you
Can
don't
you
open-
speak up, please? What'd you
Yeah.
say?
I said that we like to tell people when they're coming out. We arrange those visits, so most agencies will do the same. They will arrange the visit. They can do it usually same day or next day. But also that you want to know who's coming to your door and when they're coming. And so,
Okay, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Big thing on many different levels. So it's one of the biggest concerns when we age in place and the home is full of hidden risks and hazards. And so we want to talk about discovering those hazards and how they can be addressed. And so we have Bill here to talk about that. So Bill, you are CAPS certified. So tell us what that means.
CAPS is an acronym, stands for Certified Aging in Place Specialist. It's a training that I've done through the National Home Builders Association. In addition to that, I'm a trained home inspector. And so that training is all about detecting hazards, interviewing the homeowner, what are your particular challenges, and any help that is given is specific to what your needs are.
Okay. So you visit senior homes and you do a safety survey, talk about. So what exactly does that mean, and what is the cost involved or something like that?
Okay. A safety survey is just what it says. Go around the home inside and out while walking with you and asking you questions about, okay, is this step cause you problems? Is this and that? You've been in your home a long time, you kind of run out muscle memory. So you don't remember this little bump right here. But then when you start using walker or you're shuffling your feet a little more, all of a sudden that becomes a trip hazard. So pointing these kind of things out, and it could be a little simple as just a little piece of lighting right there, or If you have real bad arthritis in your hands, you can't handle doorknobs, so we switch them out to the levers. It can be tiny little modifications like that to make a profound difference. And then you get into some of the bigger things, which are, ramps, modifying your bathroom, grab bars, things like that, so.
And cost-wise?
Oh, the
safety
survey, we do charge this because it costs us to get there, just $49. And if you decide to do any work with us, then we just apply that toward that.
$49. Okay, all right. Seems pretty reasonable. How about other companies that do this? What do they normally charge?
Some of the services I offer are pretty unique to me. I cover eastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois for a lot of the work I do. There are a lot of people out there that are remodeling bathrooms. Most of them don't want to do the smaller jobs, and they're so busy that it might be 3 months before they even come out and take a look at your bathroom. So we make a point of doing the smaller stuff, the maintenance stuff, the smaller little projects, and do everything we can to get out to you, at least for the initial interview conversation, within 7 to 10 days maximum.
Awesome, okay. And so I know one of the things that you specifically offers, I found it to be particularly unique, which is why I asked you to be here today. And we've got a picture here of it. Can you speak about what this process is with the cutout in a tub and what kind of cost is involved with something like that?
Sure. First of all, bathrooms are by far and away the most dangerous room in the house by a long shot. And it can be just wetness, obviously. Any wet rooms, whether it be laundry or kitchen, they're high up on the scale. Bathroom by far is where about 80% of home injuries happen. That can be just having to reach too much. A grab bar can handle it, but getting in and out of a standard bathtub and having to lift your leg that high, that is huge. It just is. And most seniors that I work with don't really worry about a bathtub because it's really hard to get down and back up. So a shower is adequate. So taking your existing bathtub and cutting a section out of it and putting in a sleeve, which is one of the main things that our company does, that can be done in less than half a day for under $1,000. So you, instead of spending thousands of dollars on remodeling your bathroom, having it ripped out and redone, you can have a lot more safety for a lot less money.
So this is showing that, accessing for shower, but I think, is there not also, there's something that you can insert back in, that if you do want to use the bathtub for bathing?
Yes, this model up here is just the basic model, is simply a cutout and turns it into a step-in shower. We also have a model that looks like that most of the time. You just want that, but it also has an insert that you can put down in there, tighten down a little bit, and you've got your bathtub back. Now that could be an issue, if you've got your grandkids coming over, you want to bathe them. But another big thing is if you have a one-bathroom house, that could impact, if you don't have a bathtub, could impact resale. So having that feature, even if you never use it, the insert's just off in the linen closet, you don't ever use it, but it's a bathtub when you go to sell.
Right, so, I think it's very attractive. You put the sleeve back in there and it's, serves its original purpose, so I think that's awesome. So it doesn't mean that your house has to look like a hospital, okay? You can make changes that will actually increase the value of your home. So, Bill, you talked about basic repairs in the Honeyman list.
Honeyman,
Is that
that's
what
me.
you call it? Talk to us more about that, please.
Well, just as important as making modifications in the house for specific issues, challenges, general maintenance of the house is also really important. And, just painting, even changing light bulbs so you don't, ladders you shouldn't do. So, things like that, a little honeydew list, to come in and take care of things like that. I have been a remodeling contractor for 30 years. The better half of my company's sitting in the back of the room. But Yeah, we will come in and we'll do that. And we also do some larger things. We kind of draw the line because we don't want to get bogged down on one job for a couple of weeks because there's a lot of people that are asking for us, so.
All right, and your son is in the back, who is joining your business. Okay, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so talk to us about what we should look for in hiring a contractor to do these types of modifications in the home.
Yeah, it's a common process that's already been spoken to somewhat. You want experience. You don't want hard selling. You want somebody that's going to listen and not constantly pouring ideas out at you necessarily. Certainly, you want them insured. References are huge, if you can get some of those. Do they have affiliations? Our company is not only affiliated with Aging Ahead, but we work with Essence Insurance. And so, we indirectly kind of have their approval, not necessarily endorsement, but they like us enough to use us, so maybe you will too.
Okay, all right. Anything else that you want to add about, well, we didn't talk much about ramps or anything, and anything else you want to add?
Yeah, ramps are big. Again, aging in place is an evolution. It's not, you can't really, you do your best to go in and anticipate as much as you can, but it's not always the case. So, as you get in there, maybe a very common process that we've gone through is at first, maybe we do a bathtub, a few grab bars, check out lighting, do the survey, and then down the road, things get a little more challenging. So you add maybe a grab bar or two, and then you can't quite get in the front door like you used to, so a ramp is a good idea. And all these things, even combined, are so much less expensive than going into housing, extra care housing, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right. Things like the hallway's too narrow, though, to navigate with a wheelchair.
Well, blowing out walls is a whole different conversation. Sometimes you do just need to widen the door. I mean, that's much more feasible. We don't want to rebuild the entire inside of your house. But, yeah, challenges like that. Even sometimes it's a matter of a different piece of medical equipment because wheelchairs come in widths. So if you've only got a 32-inch front door instead of a standard 36, there's all kinds of ways to skin that cat, and sometimes it's a combination of services that get you taken care of.
And I would imagine that all of you are great resources for other services and people who work in the senior business. Is that? Thank you. So, okay, so anything else to add? Final thoughts from anybody?
First of all, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Glad to be of help, answer any questions. My contact information will be in the back, and there's no such thing as a silly question. You don't have to call me and say, I want to spend a bunch of money with you or anything like that. Just call, ask questions, as I think we're all in the same boat on that. Please ask.
Yeah.
And we, like she said, we have little networks, people we know. So if it's not me, it's this lady, it's another company that will take care of you. We're happy to do that.
Okay. Yeah, and everybody who's here, they're invited to come in because they're helpers. They want to give out information, they want to educate, they want to help you. So please feel free to use, our panelists as, information resources, and certainly, myself as well. So let's give our panelists a round of applause. So they're going to stick around. Each of them has more information in the back for you to pick up. Our next two seminars are going to be June 21st, The Truth About Trust, Wills, and Probate. July 19th, The Truth About Living, Dying, and Leaving a Legacy. And there's sign-ups in the back if you want to pre-sign, or of course you can go on the website or give us a call. So right now, we would like to offer, everybody to have a chance to ask questions to our panelists. So, yes, ma'am.
I was wanting to ask you what you thought about chair lifts. Yeah.
Yep.
Chairlifts are wonderful, and in a general answer, what I'll say about any recommendations for specific equipment, it depends on you. The way your house is put together, how it's gonna help you, because you're the ultimate decision. I can come in and say, you need 3 grab bars in the bathroom. Where do you want them? How high for you? That is the most important part. So chairlift, you go into cost. You go into how it can be configured. Sometimes it's funky stairwells and stuff like that.
Curves, yeah.
Yeah, curved, and so there are a lot of, I don't mean to be vague in my answer, but I recommend any piece of equipment that will make your life safer and easier.
And I'll add on that too, because if you've ever seen a stair lift, you have to bring your walker, your wheelchair, you've got to stand. You have a very narrow pivot. And then it's a balance issue. So they're great because they're adaptive. The question is, do you have what it takes to make the pivot and the balance to get on there safely? And it's good to have an assessment before you purchase that, because
Yeah, they're expensive.
they're not bad when you consider the cost overall, but it's just, it may not fit your need if you're beyond that. Because we have plenty of caregivers that assist people with their chair lifts. You gotta, let's just say that you're using a walker, and then you go up the hill, up the stairs. Where's your walker? Dang it, downstairs. So this is the value of expert opinions.
True. I thought about that. That's why I see walkers and all these different, I see one in the garage.
Sort of like the readers, you got them in all areas of the house, but yeah, so those are the things that, an expert can kind of help come out and help you navigate that. I wouldn't think that that would necessarily be your expertise, but it would be ours.
Yep, that's great. Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you purchase the grab bar for the car that you discussed?
So, when we showed that video, okay, and that is a library of resources, and it's on Aging Ahead's website.
Where did the
They
grab
have
bar?
videos, and then below, they have all different kinds of products that you can order that they are showing, like the hand assist, I guess
just
gate
walk through
belts.
a
There's all
test
kinds of things I've never seen or heard before, so it is a really nice
Amazon
resource.
has them.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're great for getting little bitty sports cars.
Ah,
The old
yes.
Corvette, yeah.
Yes. That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Bill, can a chairlift be installed on an outside stairway?
Yes, to answer your question, there are exterior ones, and there are also platform lifts that you stand in or wheel into, and it goes straight up as opposed to winding through a staircase. There's all kinds of different options with that, yes.
And I think they have made, tell me if I'm wrong, I see information that elevators are very small, can be very small now, and therefore they're less expensive than, a full-blown, hotel elevator. I don't know how reliable they are, I don't know how much they cost, but I know they've come down in cost.
They've scaled them down for this market quite a bit. They're not as fancy, they don't have the glass back, looking over at the arch and things like that. But it's the same thing. It's, what works for you, it's cost, and what makes sense for you specifically, what kind of stair lift, platform lift, all that. What is the layout of your home? Where do you put an elevator? It depends. Sometimes you gotta take out all the staircase and put it right there, so.
I asked my husband, and he said, oh, this would be great. It would go from our closet in the front hall to the linen closet and the upstairs, and I'm like, that's doable.
It's an awfully big laundry chute.
And that's another thing is the laundry. Okay, a lot of people besides stairs, you know, they have a 2-story home is the laundry. There's the laundry in the basement, and it can typically be modified to be on the first level if you have the space, right? But yeah, something to think about there too.
So, Bill, the chair lifts, I remember my parents, had 2, because they had a 2-story. And I wasn't there, they lived in Pittsburgh, so I wasn't there when we did the things to sell the house. How hard is it to remove those items and get your house to normal if you have to move to, a different type of living?
Understood. Great question. They're easily removable. In fact, a lot of companies will buy them back. You can even lease them. But yeah, turning it over with the larger pieces of assistive equipment, chairlifts, ramps, they can be resold. People will buy them all day long.
Yeah, I had a client who recently sold her house. She had a chairlift, although she had a 1-level home, her laundry was in the basement. So she was using the chairlift to go downstairs to do her laundry. So when we went to sell the house, so what, are you gonna leave the chairlift? Are you gonna sell it, donate it? What are your thoughts? So she contacted the company that she had purchased it from, and I think they gave her like $800 for it. It cost her several $1,000s. She wasn't real thrilled with the amount she got back, but it was something, and then they came and removed it and, took it with them, so it worked out well. Yes, sir.
So Bill, we don't like the small, I'll call it personal elevator. Your company would actually install those also?
No, we don't do the work, but we have the resources to do it.
You would do the contact.
Correct.
That's where because we're looking, our stairway going down to our basement is actually fairly narrow. It's standard, but it's not as wide as you would like if you had a stair lift, because that is going to take up some space. But we looked at possibly putting an elevator, which would be where our linen closet is, which goes down to the basement. I mean, the basement is just used as basement, but then I have my workshop.
But that's where you go when you have to go, shelter in place, right? So that's
Yeah.
important
Good point.
to have.
Yeah, you'd hate to fall down the stairs and have to call 911 to.
Yeah, we were going down there to avoid the tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point, good point.
But then you gotta think about electricity.
True.
Most of the chairlifts have battery backups.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good to know.
Yeah, it'd be horrible if the power goes out and
Yeah.
you're stuck halfway up the stairs.
Don't want to be on the top floor with a storm, that's true.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. Okay.
Thank you.
Are these devices and things covered by insurance at all? No, covered by insurance.
There are agencies. I'm not real familiar with what Medicare and Medicaid will cover yet. I'm pretty close. I've got to educate myself. But well, there's a lot of agencies out there that have resources. And the state will, if not pay for it all, pay for some. I know Essence. I do a lot of work with them. They actually have it's not Essence itself paying for it, but they have a not-for-profit that's originated out of Johns Hopkins that has a budget for lower income seniors to go in and do some of this work. So again, it's a homework thing. So.
Same as Aging Ahead, they have some resources that help people make some modifications in their home.
The VA specifically, when it comes to home modification, might be able to help.
Could you repeat that part?
The VA,
Yeah, okay. They might help.
they might, And you would have to figure out if it would.
A lot of paperwork and a long wait.
There is, I know there are, specifically the Delta Center on McClay. They take in, I've dropped off pieces of equipment that have been left behind in homes that we've sold. So they take in used equipment, and then they also, resell it out, so, at a much lower cost. Don't know everything that they have, if they do, I think they do stair lifts there, of course walkers and, portable, toilets and all of those things, but, there's other places like that. That's just the one that I'm personally familiar with. So they're out there, you just have to look for them.
And Paraquad might also be
Yeah.
another agency that could at least point you in the right direction.
Absolutely. Okay, all right, well, I think that's it. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Hope to see you again. And information in the back. Oh, Tina's brought some nice bags in back. There's not enough for everyone, but there's flyers in there and information, and then she has more handouts. So help yourself to all the information in the back. And they'll be sticking around for any questions too. Thanks, Stephanie.